Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today is lecture number 11, BSCS semester 2, business communication communication skills. So today the topic is being discussed: interview, its types, and also tips for successful interviews. So first of all, what is interview? An interview is a conversation where questions are asked and answers are given in commonplace. The word interview refers to one-on-one conversation between interviewer and a interview. So this is the communication which takes place between the two persons, and one is the interviewer and second one is the interviewer. Interviewee. So far as concern of its types and its kinds, that there are more than 6 or 7 types of the interview. So definitely an interview always takes place for different objects, for job, for within an organization, and also it can happen or it can occur, and also it can be taken for different kind of the purposes. Its chief object is to know about the ability of the person who is also participating in the interview in a form of the interviewer. So the first form of the interview is the structured interview. A structured interview is generally used in screening stage. A structured interview is controlled by the interviewer to gather facts. Here the employer controls the interview by asking a series of prepared questions in a set of order. Working from a checklist, the interviewer asks candidates each question, staying within an allotted time period. All answers are noted, although useful in gathering facts. The structured interview is generally regarded as a poor measure of an applicant's personal qualities. So some companies use structured interview to create uniformity in their hiring process. Now, number 2, open-ended interview. Opening-ended interview is less formal and unstructured. In an open-ended interview, the recruiter encourages the candidate to speak freely. The interviewer poses broad, open-ended question and encourages the applicant to talk freely. It is good for bringing out an applicant's personality and is used to test professional judgment. However, some candidates reveal too much, rambling on about personal or family problems that have nothing to do with their situation. So in a way, the qualification for the employment, their ability to get along with co-workers or any personal interests that could benefit their performance on the job. So be careful to strike a delicate balance between being friendly. Remember that you are in a business situation and also making the base for incoming financial situation. Number 3, group interview. In them, recruiters meet several candidates simultaneously. Group interviews help recruiters see how candidates interact. These types of the interview are useful for judging interpersonal communication. They tell them how candidates relate to one another. Do they smile? Are they sportive of one another's comments? Do they try to more score points at each other expense? So this is a group interview in which a lot of the peoples are also simultaneously in this position to reply the answer and also giving their mood of the behavior in the presence of a person who is also judging them, their behaviors, their way of interaction, their way of communication. The number 4 is stress interview. Perhaps the most unnerving types of the interview are the stress interview. Stress interview helps recruiters see how you handle yourself under pressure. They see how well a candidate handles stressful situation. During a stress interview, you might be asked pointed questions designed to unsettle you. You might be subjected to long periods of silence, criticism of your appearance, deliberate interpretations, interruptions, abrupt or even hostile reaction by the interviewers. So, another form of the interview, number 5, video interviewers. Video interviewers require some special preparations as employers try to cut travel costs. The video interview is becoming more popular nowadays. Companies use video conferencing systems to screen middle management candidates or to interview new recruits at the universities. Experts recommended that the candidates prepare a bit differently for a video interview than for in-person meetings. So there are a specific kind of the guidelines which are necessary to carry out to having a video interview. Ask for a preliminary phone conversation to establish rapport with the interviewers. Number 2, arrives early enough to get used to equipment and setting. Number 3, during the interview, speak clearly but not more slowly than normal. Number 4, sit straight and always try to abstain in any kind of the abnormal sitting posture. Number 5, look up but not down. It means that you must keep your eye contact with the screen. May you are also able to give the satisfactory answer and also a good physical appearance. Try to show some animation but not too much. So these are the basic points which are necessary to carry out and to achieve the success in a video form interview. So now number 5 is the situational interview. In situational interviews, candidates must explain how they would handle a specific set of circumstances. How would you handle this? Proponents of this approach claim that interview is about the job, not about the candidate's 5 years goals, weaknesses or strength. So challenging experiences or greatest accomplishment. So the situational interviews is a hands-on at work meeting between one employer who needs a job done and a worker who must be fully prepared to do the work. Regardless of the type of the interview you may face, a personal interview is vital because your resume cannot show whether you are lively and outgoing or subdued and low key, able to take direction or able to take charge. So each job requires a different mix of the personalities trait. The interview's task is to find out whether you will be effective on the job, you are a fit personality for the job or not. So this is also effect on the situation on which you are also going to discuss and also giving the answer of the satisfactory answer of the question which is also asked by the interviews.